Shit. Now, that let me know I need to go on and start this doggone conversation we gonna have. Cause I don't be smoking that much weed. Well, I do smoke hella weed, but I can't hit it like I used to. And you know what? I need to hurry up with this so y'all can get to that game, which Kansas City gonna win, and think about what gonna talk about later. This is about faking. If let's say you was interested in karate and you signed up for a class and it's supposedly is taught by a master. And when you go to your first lesson, you go in and you see a 29-year-old motherfucker standing where you would think the master would be standing. Now, what would you think based on his age only? Now, this is very important. Now, don't forget, call in 702-605-4721. 702-605-4721. Now, you go in, you see this 29-year-old. Is he too young to be a master? On the other hand, you go in and you see a 75-year-old motherfucker standing there where the master should be standing. What would you think based on his age? See, the thing is, a lot of people don't like to make these kind of decisions. But my point, the one who can really guide you when you coming up the ranks and you want to master your art, you always take guidance from an older person. The older, the better. So what I'm saying is the master, the sensei, is always old. That's because he's a man who can do twice the things you can do. And you're only 25 and he's 79. See, this is because you have just come into this level of thinking. Otherwise, you want to, when you get to this level of thinking, like in these politics that we're dealing with today, the reason you want to not believe Joe Biden, but the reason you would really think he know what the fuck he doing is because he old as fuck and he been doing it for a whole bunch of goddamn years. Now, Trump is old as fuck, but he haven't been doing it but for under 10. So I'm not saying who's right or wrong. Caller, what's up?
What's going on, bud?
Nothing, man. What's happening with you?
I just want to, put a perspective out there, or my perspective.
Come on.
On the faking topic.
Come on.
I feel like it's impossible to be fake with anyone if you're real with yourself. And what I mean by that, like, say you're a car salesman. If you know something wrong with the car, you may mislead the person. You might try to finesse the person who's trying to buy the car, but you wasn't being fake. You knew from the start. You knew you were real because you knew what was wrong with the vehicle, so it wasn't like you was being fake. So
Let me let me let
what's
me
your
let me let me
perspective
let
on
me
that?
let me tell you what's wrong with what you're saying. I ain't gonna say what you saying is wrong, but I'm gonna show you what's wrong with what you saying. Uh, you got to put yourself in the salesman's position if that's the case, and you got
Right.
to be honest with your position. You come in to buy a used car, and you expect nothing to be wrong with it. You expect to buy this new car, this used car, and just because you bought it, it's supposed to be a new car. No, that salesman cannot tell you something is wrong with the car because you wouldn't buy the car. He would never make any sales if he was being the way you saying being, and you would never buy a car because you think it should be perfect. The reason I'm saying this is that my daughter just bought this Jeep, and when she got it home, she started telling me what was wrong with it. And I say, Lena, listen, first and foremost, it's a used car. Something is going to be wrong with it. And if you want your used car to ride perfectly, you got to get it fixed. Yeah, but he sold it and it should be. No, he sold it as is. That's how used cars are sold. As is. You can go through all the shit you want to go through talking about what you think, but you bought an as is car. Now, who is being real in the instance with my daughter and the salesman? Because the salesman knew, I think it was the fuel pump. The fuel pump was bad, $500. It was
Right.
bad, and he knew it was bad. So what I'm saying is, was he supposed to tell her that?
Right. So, yeah. So that's basically.
Hold on, man. You didn't answer the question.
No, I'm saying no. You're not.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if he's the salesman and he's not supposed to tell her that, is he being real with himself?
Well, internally, but I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Like morally, as a customer, I would want the sales rep to,
No, man, because they say little sly things for you to pick up on. Otherwise, well, this is a used car. So what I'm saying is, I think it's a good used car. I've driven it and it rides well. Now,
right.
Is he telling you some bullshit?
Well, if they do, then I'm saying he's still not being, he's still being real in my eyes because that's part of the game. That's part of his hustle. But me looking at it from my perspective, if I'm the person trying to buy the vehicle, then I'm gonna be like, that's not real. He ain't keep it real, man. He could have just told me, blah 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 blah.
Hey, bro, you could have been real, and you could have accepted that you buying a used car. You could have just accepted it. My point is this: my daughter going through all this goddamn shit about her car, blah blah blah. Fuck that, Lena. I got the goddamn the fuel pump changed, and the car runs not perfect, but it runs perfect.
Right.
So what I'm saying is shit. When you buying a used car, you buying a used car, and most people make the mistake of buying a used car with their last dollar. Cause if anything wrong with this motherfucker, you gonna have to fix it. Your windshield wipers, any of that, from that to the transmission, if that's the case. You don't want none of that to be like that. That's why you test drive it. But you could test drive it and the motherfucker been fixed, kinda, and you ain't no mechanic, and it passed the mustard, and you buy the car, and after 300 miles, the motherfucker break. You can't be mad at the salesman.
You can't be mad, but not just to bring it back to your topic about being real and fake. That's all I was saying. Like, I guess at the end of the day, it comes to the perspective of the individual what's real or fake. Because, like you said, from the salesperson's perspective, he being real as he can be. And then, like I said, on the customer side, they probably seeing it as fake, even though if they're not being real with themselves, like you said, they should have already known something. Well, ain't gonna be, what they thought it was.
Well, let me tell you what I think, man, and then I'm gonna be gone. I think that motherfucker that sold my daughter that car with a fucked up fuel pump did his job perfectly because he said this is a good car. Now he didn't, he didn't say it's broke, but he ain't acting like you buying a perfect car. He just telling you I've driven it. It's a good car. And what I'm saying is, if my daughter would have had the perspective I had, and if she would have had some money, she would have realized she just got to fix it, and then she could, make whatever some summation about the car, because the car is a good car. It's a very good car. It's got a lot of shit that she don't like, but that you got a job. Get all that shit changed. So my point, man, is you gotta see shit for the real shit. You can't see shit based on your slant, because your slant ain't gonna get you shit but dissed. That's all it's gonna do. And all I'm saying is, when you make a move like a car or whatever, you gotta accept what you buying. The only way you could trip like you tripping is if you went to a dealer and bought a brand new car. Then he ain't supposed to say nothing about the car, because the car perfect. So
even with, not necessarily, because even brand new cars have recalls and stuff like that.
Man, that's something totally different, man. That's totally different. So my point is that you got to keep shit in perspective so that you don't feel like you feel. Because my daughter felt like she had got fucked. And I had to let her understand, I don't think you got fucked, honey. I think you just don't have no money, and you can't afford what is going on with this used car you bought. But that's why you got a daddy, because I'm hooking you up. And she been rolling ever since. So that's all I'm saying, man. You gotta make you gotta make yourself happy. And you only do that by accepting the absolute truth going in.
Right. I love the man in the mirror every morning when I see him. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, I feel where you're coming from. I'm gonna stay tuned in for the rest of the show.
All right, brother, you be cool.
Yep.
Okay, now that was a good question, and we had a nice conversation about it. But let me just get you guys understanding something. When you realize something, you gotta realize you just realized it. Now, let's say another person have realized what you're just realizing. He's been living it the past 30 years. So he's been realized it, then altered it, he did everything with it. So he absolutely knows it. Now my point. The sensei is always old. What's going on, caller?
What's up, Professor? This Cameo.
Cameo, what's happening?
You, Professor. I just want to touch on the topic, no faking in 2024, and what you were just going over with the other brother, as far as the used car salesman and who is being fake.
Let's go, man. Come on. You ain't got to do all that explaining.
Okay. Well, I know a used car salesman. We real cool, and I know how he get down, and I don't know how he run his operation. Me personally, I don't have a car. I catch the bus. But my thing as far as that is, I would rather drive in the year. You know what I'm saying? Until my finances get right where I can drive. Cameo.
What the fuck do that have to do with being real?
That got to be real with, that got to do with it, because I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, I already know that something got to be wrong with the car if it's a used car. I'm already knowing that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna buy a car with my last dollar. You know what I'm saying? Just for me to have to go and get it fixed and all of that. So I'm not gonna even put myself in that situation.
Yeah, well, man, you sound like a cat that want to stay in whatever situation he in. because talking like that, you ain't gonna get no car. And thinking like that, if you got a car, you ain't gonna fix it because you don't feel like you should have to fix it because whatever, you bought it. So what I'm saying is you can't, you in the trap right there. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old you are, but what I'm saying is a motherfucker 23, shit, he gotta have a car. He gotta have a car, man. You know, if you don't want no car, that's your personal preference. But what we was talking about was, you know, being real in the car. That was a particular instance. I don't think he had that situation. He just brought it up. But my point is, you know, in any situation, you gotta do the pros and the cons, and you gotta accept both of them, cause you're gonna have to make a choice. You either gonna go with the pro or you're gonna not go with the pro. If you don't go with the pro, you're going with the con. So what I'm saying is, whichever one you choose, you can't be mad. You got to go with what you choose. I just happen to know plenty cars have something wrong with it, and the motherfucker didn't want to get it fixed, and they sell it, and then or they trade it in or whatever, and that dealer that get it, he ain't finna spend no money on it, but if he can sell it, he gonna sell it. But the point is, you buying a used car. You supposed to know what to look for. My daddy, I'm telling you, my daddy been dead 30 years, 35. He told me when I was a kid and I wanted to buy my first car. And I said, Daddy, how did you choose a car? You know what he told me? He said, boy, first you see if you like the car. And if you like the car, you ask for the keys. And you don't get in the car, you stick your hand in your head in the window and stick the keys in the ignition and turn it on. And if the car starts, you got a good car. Most cars that's for sale, the motherfucker knows something about it. Otherwise, you got to get in and pat the gas pedal or whatever. Or when it turn over, it's turning over about 10 seconds instead of starting in 2 seconds, like this car or my cars do. My point is, if you're going to buy a fucking used car, there's ways to tell. Now, that is not the way, but that's the way my dad told me, and it seems to work. Because every time you stick your head in the car and turn the key, and it starts right up, that means everything is where it's supposed to be. The gas, even though it's been sitting, the oil level, everything is where it's supposed to be. So that's all you can ask for in a car.
Yeah, it is. And thanks for the game, Professor, because I only have one car in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I've had to just drive it my whole life and things of that nature. So thanks for the game, Professor.
You know it, Cammy. It'll be cool, man. 2024 going good with you?
2024 going real good. I'm getting some things in order. You know, I had asked God to bless my finances, but I since realized that I can't ask God to bless my finances until I do everything I can.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Situation.
Accept the real. That's what's happening. Be cool, Cameo.
All right, Professor.
Okay. Now that was a good conversation too. I love these conversations. Now I try my best to stay prepared for any opportunity I may come across during the week. Caller, what's up?
Hey, what's up, bud? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm good, man. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good, man. The more I'm learning, and I think you said this to me before, the more I'm learning, the more I'm noticing all of the amazing oxymorons in life. And that was them last two conversations you had. It was some dope shit I wanted to add on to it.
Come on.
Well, actually, one of the oxymorons is what I'm about to say about what you teach. Is that, like, for instance, in school, they didn't teach us about money. So I got a truck right now. Just had to go to the part shop to get an alignment. They said, oh, you need this and that. And it's an extra 800 and all of this. But the thing about it is, they didn't teach us about being responsive in school. They didn't teach us about money. We was taught that from our parents or the community or people like you. And you know, you don't even talk about money. What you talk about is like a situation come up. You talk about having a responsibility to do it and going within yourself and seeking within yourself and knowing that you can do it.
But Paul, what's your point about not wanting to get that $800 repair?
Oh, I got the $800.
No, I didn't say if you had $800. I said, what was your point? Because you were sounding like you didn't want to get. You went in for a front end alignment, but they started talking about $800 more dollars. Sounded like you was talking about you didn't want to spend it.
Yeah, because I got to get something else done. So I'm responsive. I got resources. I'm going to have somebody else do that, go back to them, get my tires from somewhere else because I shop around. That's all I'm doing. I'm just shopping around.
Paul, you still ain't telling me what's your point about the $800. What, you still got it? You got it done, or you going to get it done, or what?
Yeah, I'm going to get it done. My point is that, see, I remember when I used to think about, man, I don't want no car because it costs too much. But I was just my perception at that time. I wasn't thinking like I'm thinking now. But the way that I'm thinking now didn't come from me having money. It came from what was already inside of me.
Exactly. I believe that. I believe that. You know, the reason I wanted to know your point is I don't get everything done that needs to be done in my car. You know, I drive a Caddy, and as long as that motherfucker runs really good, smooth, my air and all that shit work. If I took it to, let's say, the Cadillac dealer and say service my car, they might come back with $2,400 worth of shit they need to do. Because they just
recommend it.
Yeah, they just recommending doing it, but I'm the one driving the motherfucking car. And if it do everything I want it to do, and it's like it ain't missing or none of that kind of goddamn shit, man, fuck them motherfuckers in that $2,400. I ain't spending it. But when something from that $2,400 break, it liable to cost me that much. But see, my philosophy on that is when it break, I'll fix it. That's me. You know, I ain't finna fix no $3,000 shit and I ain't getting no problems. I got to be having some serious problems with whatever going on for me to spend that money. Now, that's just me, the way I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm responsible too. I don't bullshit. I don't owe nothing. You know, I don't be late on none of my bills. You know, I don't do nothing. All that shit is a sin to me. That ain't no good. So, that's cool. Hey, that's it, Paul.
Man, I had a lot more, but I thank you for what you just said right there, because that got me thinking. You know what I'm saying? I really, like you said, if it ain't broke, hey, don't fix it.
That's me, man.
I'm driving.
You know, yeah, man. But if you driving and you feel some kind of thump in your car as you go, you got to get that fixed. I would.
Right.
I got to be riding smooth. Yeah. All right, man. Be cool. Happy 24, bro. Hey, you guys. Now we got to hurry up so we can watch this motherfucking game. If you get prepared and stay that way, you will never miss a woman that you shoot at. I know I don't miss, because in the unlikely event you feel that I'm full of shit, here's what you do. Stop listening to my black ass and return to the days of you listening to them fucking pickup artists. Then try as hard as you can to not laugh at them motherfuckers, because even though you feel I'm full of shit, you cannot deny how much further you are in your quest of finding manhood fucking with me. So I understand everybody ain't gonna like me. Even so, I've had a very good year mentally and physically. I plan to have a good year this year. And it's due to the amount of stress I release being the way I am. You know, the powers that be held a 35-year-old case uh, to keep me from being able to teach legitimately. 2024 will be a year I ain't gonna forget because I believe in 2022 it introduced me to a totally different way of moving, and thanks to the people I met, I learned internet commerce better than I ever knew it. Now, all of it did one thing this year. It put me in position to meet and deal with the real movers and shakers of the educational industry. Just wait and see what I got for you coming in the next couple of years. And it ain't no rosebud products, but then again, everything I do is a rosebud product. My shit was amazing this year. There is something about the way being real front the fakers who call into my videos, front them off. There aren't many you can listen to on social media who have a real platform, tried and proven for you to listen to. Every one of the fools on this social media spitting that fake game who are under 60 and don't have a record of 40 plus years of putting what they call game down, they're nothing but liars. You must have professed and lived by what you claim game is, or you ain't got none. You should have not only lived by it, but you should have lived by it over 50 years. And when you retired, decided to kick it about the game you live. Now, not imaginary shit, real shit. These imaginary motherfucking suckers speak to you about imaginary game. I am one motherfucker who will not speak on anything I didn't do myself in the pursuit of what I call greatness. I said there was only two. The other motherfucker spitting experiences tape. Hollywood Shantae and I rode the streets of this game daily for over 40 years. That nigga never pimped better than me, and I can't say I pimped better than he. Because we both made sure the other motherfucker was seeing realness. Anytime I check that nigga, I'm seeing realness. Anytime he check me, he's seeing realness. We make the very fakers you listen to come real. And once they start getting real, the shit they was faking about get puts into perspective. And they realize they was faking for nothing. Because I'm a real brother. And I've been just as weary as you are in certain situations. But the difference between you and me is I have never, well, I take that back. I have been afraid. But I have never let being afraid stop me from being an A1 motherfucking alpha man. I realized at one point my life was totally in my hands, and no one person, be they a governmental motherfucker or some fool off the goddamn streets, no motherfucker can determine what I can do. People ask me all the time whether or not I feel I'm reaching today's men or today's males that's on their way to trying to be successful. I think I am. You know what I tell them? I tell them I sure do think the work I put in matters to most, if not all, the dudes I speak with. I made the decision a few years ago. I was going to change the weak attitudes of the dudes today. Now, after I had figured what was up with them concerning dealing with women, I decided I wasn't going to stop until I made a difference in the way the dudes today see and deal with women. And the one thing that none of you have done, which is the first thing I make you do fucking with me, is identify who the fuck you are and what the fuck you want out of your life. And I don't want to hear what Michael Jordan got. I don't want to hear what any of these famous motherfuckers got. I want to hear what the fuck you want. I want to hear what the fuck you think you can get. There's one thing that sticks out to me when I think of the shit that I've been doing over the past few years. You want to know what that is? I'm an instructor. I don't want the laurels of being an instructor. I just want to see the instructions I've delivered being used to the fullest potential. That would satisfy every fucking bone in my body. And in that regard, I'm a selfish bastard, which I never denied being. In that same regard, I'm the flyest dude you ever motherfucking known because I say shit that can change your life. And the cold part about that is nothing I say will work for your ass unless you do whatever I'm saying exactly as I'm saying it. Why? Because I did it. And I know it works. What will work for me will work for you. You just have the same, you just need to have the same fucking attitude. The good thing about that is you don't have to accept it the way I bring the truth. Tay is totally different than I am, but our messages are identical. Not one thing you get from either of us will work for you if you try to alter it before using it. In that regards, I see my friend and I as me and you cannot do without. Your desire for me and what I tell you should have grown. And if it has not, please don't tune in. Check Tay out. The same message, different delivery styles. I only want to deal with men who find what I say to be intriguing enough to want to find out what I'm talking about. Seekers are winners. And winners are people who are not afraid to seek information. If you want to hear me, there's no way you won't figure out how to do it. And if you're waiting for me to respond to how to do it, I guess you're going to miss another show. I babysit no one, even potential listeners, even potential students. I am not kissing your ass to get you to fuck with me. I believe in self-reliance, and that's what I really am about. This is all I teach at SW. I teach the true ways to go after the things you want in life. You don't know this, but 9 out of 10 of you motherfuckers simply accept what life gives you. A self-reliant man will promote himself to himself, and this promotion will have a big effect on his personal growth. Self-reliance is needing no person other than yourself to do what you have deemed necessary to do, especially to become a better person. I'm reliant. I'm self-reliant. Are you? I'm a brother who speaks 401 different languages. I get all kinds of emails from people in places I can't even pronounce. No matter where they are, they all seem to get the same message when I speak in alpha male language. It interprets to exactly what that person's native language is. Otherwise, real man shit does not translate to anything but real man shit in any language. I know I don't try to be a multilingual person, but I do realize my shit excuse me, crosses all language barriers. You know, I'm the shit. Decisions are ultra important to make and twice as important to live up to once you establish. I learned long ago if you're not afraid to make decisions, if you're not afraid to make a mistake, you won't be afraid of extreme success. Most of us don't realize the simplest way to actually deal with or even ward off stress is to accept that it's there, decide what to do about it, and do it. Now, it's not as easy as I say it. So the uneasiness you feel when you're thinking about approaching a woman can be lessened if you made a conscious effort to get the confidence you need about yourself. The only thing you need to do is be a real man, or to be a real man is accept what's real. I am sure you'd love to be a man who doesn't fantasize about what he would do to a woman if he had the opportunity. I'm just as sure you prefer instead to have the confidence that you are a man equipped with all the tools necessary to have any woman you desire. I mean, this is a very possible thing for most, especially those of you that's actually timid. Sometimes all it requires is answers to questions you didn't even know you had. But now that you do know, you also have someone where you can get your answers. Solid Rock University is off the change right now because for just that reason, no questions is off limit in the classes. And if you could ask it, I can answer it, and I can show you how what I'm talking about at SWU relates to it. There's no question or scenario you can think of that I have not already encountered and successfully dealt with. That's especially the case when that shit involves bedding a woman. I have the key to what it takes to enable you to see when the time to go for the juggler is, and I can teach it to you. Get with my confidence course at SWU, sidewalku.thinkific.com. Follow my ass on Twitter at Mr. Rosebud, and just be sure to check out rosebudtheauthor.com, or email me with a question at astrosebud@gmail.com. What good would it do a dude to think about pussy if you don't even know how to handle a woman? Do you know what the hell pussy would do to you, to an unsuspecting dude who doesn't know women? If you was a silly motherfucker, you think, oh, it's only pussy. That is all it is until you come in it. Then it becomes a motherfucking game that you've entered with a stacked deck, and it's stacked against your motherfucking ass. Do you ever take the time to think about learning these things, or learning things to do in the bedroom? Learning ways to think about the bedroom? I got a lot to say about that, and if you want some coaching in that area, hit me up, and we can make some arrangement. I've had the opportunity to be in a life that allowed me the time to learn women. I learned them so much so till those pickup artists that you motherfuckers listen to use my shit. They could not possibly tell you what that shit means because they're interpreting it. I'm the real deal, and if you want some real understanding, what's up, caller?
Hey, Rosebud, it's Devin.
Devin, hey man, what's going on?
Hey, man. Well, I just wanted to say that I've noticed how much that after taking the course, how every single day I'm still changing
and I realized how much it's affected me in every single day and every single thing I do with my conversation.
Devin,
Wait,
let me say this. That's because, Devin, you were one of the few students that really tried to do every goddamn thing I said. And if you remember, part of what I was telling you was this shit is going to continue, because after you take this class, you're going to see how to teach yourself on a continuous basis, because you're going to be looking at everything. And that's what's happening with you, man. And I'm glad to hear it.
It's so true, man. And it's funny because you said that once you really get it, you start to think all the time, and you do really struggle to sleep at night because you're just thinking all the time.
Hey, you're not having problems sleeping, are you?
Well, not necessarily, because I don't really have a problem with it. I just really enjoy it. I enjoy every second of being able to think all the time, deeply about everything. And so it's a blessing in disguise. So it's incredible, man. And I think you do a great job of explaining your course.
Yeah.
But after going through it, I hear what you say completely differently. And so I just thank you so much, man. And I seriously look forward to continuing with you as long as you're available. And so I thank you.
Hey, Devin, I'm going to be available, man. And the thanks, I appreciate you thanking me, but the thanks is in you doing what you learned. I mean, just hearing you, and because I'll be watching you post on Facebook too, man. You really doing a lot of good shit, man.
Well, thank you. And I really can't wait to show you what's coming, because I've been waiting to post the new stuff that I've been working on.
Well, I've been looking at all your pictures, man, and your shit is dope. I'm loving it.
Awesome, man. Well, I've got one more thing I'd like to say.
Go ahead.
I'm working on a really cool Sidewalk University pendant that I think would be super cool for the graduates to be able to buy from you to contribute to Sidewalk University to help it grow in the future. And I'm not trying to sell anything. It's just something that I would like to be able to contribute to Sidewalk University when the time's right.
Hey, man, let's talk about it, man. Let's get together, change numbers and talk about it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much.
All right, brother. Be cool. Hey, see, as you can tell, Devin, he ain't no black dude, but he is a brother. And, he don't pass judgments. He's just one of them dudes that want to learn. And I love them kind of men. So I believe I'm the real deal, if you want the same understanding I have about having it the way you want it. And then you need to know what I know, not what somebody thinks and interpret what I'm saying. The thing is, when I'm on the hunt or out for some pussy, I don't even think about what I can say or do to a woman. I learned a long time ago, you need to do first things first. And after I gained that confidence to be sure of myself and not to second guess any of my goddamn original decisions, a monster was let loose. And women is just a herd of unsuspecting cattle. I slide up to a broad and reach right over her to get a napkin or whatever I see in reach. Now, why would I do that? Because I do what I please, and what I please pleases me, and what pleases me pleases women. What pleases me does not please all women, and I might run into a few who don't like what I do. You know what the fuck I think about that? That's why I purposely run into so many women in a week. I ain't hardly thinking about what some goddamn woman who my shit doesn't please think. I can care less about her and her thoughts, because all that matters to me when I'm at a woman is what I'm thinking. This is why I do not miss when I'm on the prowl. I know women. I know they want me. And I know just as much they can't have me. I can only have them. Now get at me if you want this shit I have. Fellas, I'm telling you. Go get your woman some of that J'adore perfume. I'm an animal and the right fragrance is on a woman. And there are several fragrances I like, but the latest one is J'adore. It's goddamn dope. I might have watched that commercial one time too many, and I thought, shit, since I like that tall ass model bitch, my woman might smell good in that shit. So I bought it, and man, it was like bomb on my girl. My woman was so thrilled she couldn't stop smiling. Now, there's some things that are more important than having confidence: water, food, air to breathe, clothing, housing. Well, I think that about does it for what's more important. Unless you have something else more important than being a confident as motherfucking man in all areas of your life. I don't have nothing more important than that. So the topic for next year, what are you going to be doing with the 3 T's, the 3 P's, and the ABP's? Now, the 3 T's are time, talent, and truth. The 3 P's is pimping, planning, and prospering. And ABP's is always be playing. I know what I'm going to do with mine. What are you going to do with yours? You know what? I'm 71 years old and I still have 75% of my childhood friends, almost 85. I think I have almost 85% of my across the street and around the corner friends I grew up with. How many of you under 30-year-old motherfuckers can say that? You ought to think about that. We grew up with a healthy amount of fear. We had a lot of shit to fear in our homes, namely our parents. The fear they instilled in us allowed us to do shit, but we would constantly be thinking about how to do it without getting caught. And not only did we fear our parents, we feared, respected your parents. Growing up this way kept us out of trouble and alive. And our parents were serious, old school, and firmly believed if you weren't scared at home, you would go out and be fearless and end up dead. So you don't want your child to be scared of you where they hide. They hide. But you do want them to be afraid enough to feel they must hide the wrongdoing they're involved in. Some kids don't even flinch when they're doing wrong because they know no one at home or in the streets gonna check them. We need to consistently check our kids, goddammit, for them to stay safe in the streets. And we always gotta have an allotment of minutes we can use to give thanks to the man for allowing us to see another day, another moment, or a holiday. Hug your wife, your mama, your daddy, your significant other, your kids. Just be thankful for what we've been blessed to accomplish. And what we've accomplished together on our own is nothing short of miraculous. If in the coming months, I'm going to be competing with the past year, I'm on a pace for a doozy of a year. I'm grateful for my prosperity, and I'm hopeful that those who didn't reach their goals put their efforts into making a motherfucking goal happen this year. I said it before and I'll say it again. To have a life, you need to have a goal. And if that goal is reached, it'll make you happy. We still got a long way to go, but together we're going to do this shit. And I know I identify with the rush I get handling this shit the way I, seen it going. And it doesn't compare with charging hoes. It doesn't compare with managing a crew of money getting bitches. It ain't nowhere near the feelings of selling dope. But my confidence scores have been handling my business. And I know you all have received success to some degree from listening to my videos. Now it's time to get the course and get the full advantage. I'm making up to all of you enrolled, all of you who emailed me and stated that they would that I would regret taking the course off the market. Seldom am I wrong, but when I am, I ain't ashamed to admit it. I was premature in taking that shit off the market, but it's catching up now, and it's all right. It's all right now. Hey, look, I gotta go watch this fucking game. You know, when I get to running my mouth, I can be talking a long fucking time. But those of you who want the Kansas City Chiefs to win, you right. Caller, what's up?
What's up, man? This is Marcus, man. Marcus Stave up.
What's happening?
Oh, shit, man. I'm tuning in to your show. I just want to tell you, I appreciate everything you ever taught me. And that shit is definitely working out for me.
Hey, man, everything that you learned, if you use it, it's going to work out for you.
Oh, you know, I know that. I've been in this thing since 2018.
Oh, this Margaret Bradford?
Yeah.
Man, what's happening?
This shit, man, I'm taking a break from making music right now. I was upstairs producing some music for artists. But I was tuning into your show at the same time. I was like, man, some of the shit you were saying, you know, it always takes me to speak the real shit. So I had to just show my appreciation. I hadn't talked to you in a minute. So you guys are tuning in. Y'all need to know that Bud is a genuine dude. These pickup artists, they don't know a motherfucking thing. Don't waste your time tuning in on their shows when you can tune into the real shit. The time you got on this earth is borrowed, so use it wisely and tune in with the real and not the fake, and then have to go find, or you go try and find out that if the fake is real, but you know it's fake, so you can just go ahead and get with the real and get on with your life. So,
hey, appreciate that, Marcus. How 24 going for you?
Man, it's blessed. You know, I got a lot of opportunities that I've created for myself since I started in the music industry for real. And actually, I just had an artist winning competition on TikTok. Funny, I was from listening to you and Hollywood Shantae show. I got tuned in to all the music I was listening to, and I had one of the artists. He had to name the date the song was released, the name of the song, and the artist. So he found out it was the Dramatics that did some songs, the song that I put up, and now he wins free beats. Me and him got a meeting in an hour on Zoom. So I can finish working on these beats for him. But yeah, man, it's a blessed year. I got a lot of goals ahead of myself this year. I'm down in Dallas, Texas right now, you know, still out here. Once I leave up out of this state, shoot, I might take my talent further out west. And then
ain't no might to it, man. You're going to have to take it further.
Ain't no stopping for real, you know.
All right, man. Hey, you ain't watching the game today? You say you got a meeting in an hour? Shit, I'd have to well, no, I wouldn't. I would go to the meeting. Hey, man, but anyway, you got to. Anyway, stay in touch with me, man. And all y'all, man, y'all be cool. I'm finna go. I got to watch this doggone game. I'm not a sports freak, but you know what I'm saying? Motherfucker like them Ravens. The Ravens I think they're going to win. But they ain't finna. Wait a minute, the Ravens, is they playing today? I think they playing motherfucking Kansas City. Them niggas ain't gonna win. I like the quarterback though. That motherfucker is so dope. But it's gonna be a good game. All I know is the Kansas City playing today. I don't even know who they playing for real. But I'm gone, y'all. I'll see you what's today? Sunday. I'll probably see y'all Wednesday.